If you've been spending your weekends building yet another LLM wrapper thinking it's your ticket to a $500,000 salary, I have some news that might sting. But honestly, it's actually the best news you'll hear all year. Look, I know it's frustrating. You're skilled, you're putting in the hours, and you're building exactly what the headlines told you to build. But the job market feels like it's standing still. If you're feeling ghosted, it's not because you aren't good enough. It's because the game changed while we were all busy watching the scoreboard. Right now, the average tech job search has stretched to 27 weeks. That's over 6 months. Compare that to the national average of 15 weeks, and you start to see the gap. It's exhausting. And here's why. While the world is screaming about building AI, the smartest companies in the room have quietly started doing something else. They're deleting it. Gartner recently reported that 95% of corporate AI pilots have failed to generate any significant revenue as of early 2026. 95%. Let that number sit for a second. We've spent 2 years in a hype cycle where more AI was the only answer. But now the hangover has set in. Companies are looking at their balance sheets and realizing they've built a lot of toys, but very few tools. So if the builders are getting ghosted by recruiters, what is the secret fire that companies are actually trying to put out behind closed doors? So let's talk about what's actually going on. We didn't just build a new tech stack over the last couple of years, we built a $2.4 trillion mountain of digital debt. That's the reality leaning over every major enterprise right now. I've seen this play out 100 times in my career, but never at this scale. We rushed, we integrated LLMs into legacy systems that weren't ready. We automated workflows that we didn't fully understand. And now, the cracks are turning into canyons. Gartner predicts that this rush toward prompt-based development is going to increase software defects by 2,500% by 2028. That isn't a typo. 2,500%. We are essentially mass-producing bugs at the speed of light. Technical debt in the US is now estimated at over $2.4 trillion annually. Here's the part most people miss. 60% of Gen AI projects are predicted to fail by the end of this year. Why? Because they were built on hype instead of architecture. Companies are drowning in broken integrations, hallucinating chatbots, and data leaks. They don't need another person to show them how to call an API. They need someone who knows how to clean up the mess. They're looking for the person who can look at a $3 million failed pilot and explain exactly how to dismantle it safely. But if the world is drowning in broken AI, who are the people getting paid a premium to swim? Now, let me walk you through what works. Look at McDonald's. They had a massive AI drive-through test with IBM. It was supposed to be the future, but they ended it after accuracy stalled at 80%. Think about that. 1 out of every 5 orders was wrong. In the world of fast food, that's a brand-killing disaster. Or look at Klarna. They made headlines for replacing roles with AI, but by 2025, they were quietly resumed hiring human experts for high-stakes customer remediation. Why? Because they realized a broken chatbot is infinitely more expensive than a high-priced expert. This is the great undo. Companies are rolling back the auto-everything mindset and pivoting to what I call pro-stability. And this is where the money is hiding. And I've been tracking market data for specialists we're calling AI Remediation PMs. These are the people who manage the rollback or the heavy-duty fixing of failing automated pipelines. I recently spoke with a tech lead who pivoted from being a Gen AI builder to an AI audit and forensics specialist for a major fintech firm. He didn't take a pay cut. He secured a $240,000 base salary. Why? Because he's not the guy who breaks things anymore. He's the guy who fixes the $500,000 mistakes the builders left behind. He realized that in 2026, being the undo button is the most valuable job in the building. We are moving from the gold rush phase to the infrastructure phase. In a gold rush, everyone wants a shovel. In the infrastructure phase, everyone wants a plumber and a structural engineer. This is a massive paradigm shift. The next phase of the AI era isn't about implementation quantity. It's about quality, liability management, and system forensics. Here's something that surprised me when I first saw the data. AI maintenance costs, we're talking retraining, monitoring, and fixing, typically reach 15 to 25% of the initial build cost every single year. This has created a massive secondary labor market that no one is talking about. It's the AI forensics mindset. If you have the technical skills to understand how an LLM works, but you combine that with risk management or compliance certifications, your value doubles. The IAPP reports a 38% salary premium for people who hold both AI skills and certifications like the AIGP. Recruiters aren't looking for hype anymore. They're looking for diagnosis. They want to know if you can explain why a system failed and how to make it reliable again. A forensics mindset is worth infinitely more than a hype mindset right now. So how do you practically rebrand yourself by next Monday? Your goal this week isn't to learn a new coding language. It's to learn the language of reliability. If I were sitting across from you right now, here's what I'd tell you to do first. Stop pitching what you can build and start pitching what you can save. Audit your own portfolio. Can you show a time you identified a high-risk technical debt and fixed it? That's your new lead story. Second, get obsessed with AI governance. Understand the liability. 75% of tech decision makers say technical debt is their biggest barrier to growth. If you can speak to that barrier, you're the only person in the room they want to talk to. Finally, remember this: 72% of recruiters now prioritize problem discovery over pure execution speed. The era of move fast and break things is dead in the AI space because breaking things has become too expensive. The era of the AI builder is crowded. It's noisy, but the era of the AI fixer is wide open. This isn't easy. It requires a shift in how you see yourself. But the people who figure this out, they're the ones getting the callbacks. They're the ones securing the $240,000 roles. Become the person who brings stability to the chaos. That's exactly where your next big move begins.